Hello everyone, welcome back to our class. In today's class, we will introduce an interesting concept, emotional labor, which you might experienced before. Then we will learn one of the important theories in emotional studies, affective events theory. Before we start talking about emotional labor, let's think about your day thus far. How many emotions you have experienced? Can you identify when you were happy to deal with other people and when you wanted to be left alone? Now, imagine trying to hide all the emotions you have felt today for 8 hours or more at work. This might sound crazy to you, but this is exactly what some jobs ask people to do at work, especially in the service industries. Individuals who work in manufacturing rarely meet their customers face to face. If they're in the bad mood, the customer would not know. Service jobs are just the opposite. The part of a service employee's job is appearing a certain way in the eye of the public. As such, they are expected to be upbeat, friendly, and polite at all the times, which can be exhausting to accomplish in the long run. Let's firstly take a look at the definition of emotional labor. Emotional labor refers to an employee's expression of organizationally desired emotions during interpersonal transactions at work. Now, imagine that you're working as a cashier. Now someone comes and you are going to sell some items, or you are going to interactive talk a little bit. So this is interpersonal attractions at work. Your organization has some desired emotions, so the cashier should always be polite and smiling. This is emotional labor in many service-minded jobs. There is an implied agreement on the types of emotions that should be expressed. For example, we expect flight attendants to be cheerful, funeral directors to be sad, and doctors emotionally neutral. In order to analyze emotional labor, we divided emotions into felt and displayed emotions. An employee's actual emotions are their felt emotions. In contrast, displayed emotions are those required or deemed appropriate in a given job. Imagine that when a children's hairdresser is cutting the hair of a crying toddler, he actually feels annoyed. But his job requires him to be friendly and polite to his customers, so he has to put a smile on the face, although it's a fake one. In this case, a noise caused by the crying toddler is a true emotion of the hairdresser, while the smile put on his face is displayed. So, we can see that actual emotions may not coincide with displayed emotions. Displaying fake emotions requires us to suppress real ones. Now, let's have a look at two levels of displayed emotions that can be expressed: the surface acting and the deep acting. Surface acting is just trying to hide one's inner feelings in response to display rules. An employee displays the appropriate emotions even when they don't feel those emotions. The hairdresser smiles at the crying toddler even when he doesn't feel like it. He is adopting a surface acting strategy. Deep acting takes a surface acting one step further. Deep acting is trying to modify one's true inner feelings based on display rules. Instead of faking emotion that a customer may want to see, an employee will actively try to experience the emotion they are displaying. For example, the children's hairdresser may sympathize with the toddler by imagining how stressful it must be for one so little to be constrained in a chair and be in an unfamiliar environment. And the hairdresser may generally begin to feel sad for the child. Do you experience emotional labor? Do you have a conflict between felt and displayed emotions? If so, do you feel exhausting? Research shows that displaying emotions we don't really feel can be exhausting. Surface acting is associated with increased stress and decreased job satisfaction, while deep acting has a positive relationship with job satisfaction and job performance, because deep acting helps align the conflicts between felt emotions and displayed emotions. If people fail to align the disparity between felt and displayed emotions, what would they experience? Emotional dissonance reflects this situation in which people have to project one emotion while feeling another. Long-term emotional dissonance is a predictor for job burnout, declines in job performance, and lower job satisfaction. The concept of emotional labor makes intuitive and organizational sense, but how do people fit a job's emotional labor requirements into a construct with implications for work events, emotional reactions, job satisfaction, and job performance? What's more, you might get curious about what is the connection between emotions, attitudes, and behaviors at work. There is a theory regarding emotions that may explain the relationship. It is called Affective Events Theory, that is AET, proposed by Howard Weiss and Russell Crepazano in 1996. This theory demonstrates that employees react emotionally to things that happen to them at work, and this reaction influences their job performance and satisfaction. According to affective events theory, an emotional episode is actually the result of a series of emotional experiences triggered by work events. These emotional episodes, in turn, drive actions that can positively or negatively influence employees' job satisfaction and performance. For example, imagine your boss unexpectedly delivers your morning coffee to your desk. You may feel happy and surprised. As a result of this pleasant experience, you are more likely to engage more in your work. In contrast, if you suffered from unfair treatment from your manager, the negative emotions you experience may cause you to withdraw from work or to act mean towards a coworker. Additionally, in the process of shaping emotional reaction to work events, employees' personality and moods predispose them to respond with greater or lesser intensity. For instance, people who score low on emotional stability are more likely to react strongly to negative events, and our emotional response to a given event can change depending on mood. We can achieve two important messages conveyed by affective events theory. First, emotions can provide valuable insights into how workplace events influence employee performance and satisfaction. Second, employees and managers shouldn't ignore emotions or the events that caused them. Even sometimes they look minor because they can accumulate over time. Until now, we talk about important concepts of organizational behavior, emotional labor, and introduced affective event theory. In the next section, we will talk about another interesting concept, emotional intelligence, that is EI. We will see how emotional intelligence functions as one way to manage the effects of emotional labor in the next section. See you next time.